Hello everybody and welcome to Gauder Acoustic. My name is Dr. Roland Gauder and I'm here today with Volker, my friend and sales manager of Gauder Acoustic, and we want to talk about something new. Volker, what do we want to talk about today?
Yeah, actually, thank you for your welcome and thank you for looking at us again. We want to talk about our new series, the Capello series, because we had a very long period, a very long time, our ceramic series.
Yes,
15, 16 years.
Almost 16 years
Yeah.
we produced the Cassiano and Vescova.
And you had so many good ideas
Thank you.
about making a good thing even better. And therefore we decided to make a complete new series, which we call the Capello series. And we don't want to make a MK4 or MK5 series in the ceramic, because we changed a lot. And
almost everything. We changed
almost everything. Well, in fact, it is like this. And Roland, let's talk about what we changed. What is new in the Capello series?
Volker, as I said, almost everything is new. We changed the enclosure, we changed the drivers, and we also changed the crossover completely. And this brings some really good progress to the sound, but also to the thing when you think about handling the speaker, adjusting it to the room, adjusting it to your special taste. And all these new features are really big progress compared to the old ones. So just starting with the enclosure, the cabinet, in fact you see the back is wider than before, and this is due to the fact that it's much more stable in this shape. And it's always a Landwich-Sayred cabinet, but it's much more stable than the predecessor. And also we can now mount the complete binding Bose terminal to the back. And as you know, the Cassiano and Vescova, you had to adjust on the bottom of the speaker, which is not so very comfortable. And I thought it's much more convenient to have such a terminal on the back where you can connect the amplifiers. And the next two things are just very, very profitable and beneficial for the customer to adjust it to the room. I think that's what you always want as a salesman.
Yeah, sure. You know, these two jumpers, you can adjust the bass extension and you can adjust the level of the bass for itself. And as you said, this one was formerly at the bottom of the loudspeaker, so it was not that easy to handle. And the bass extension, well, the latest models of the ceramic series, they also had this bass extension. But when you put in the modules of the bass extension, they just stand on the side and you see it from the front, and it was not that nice. And well, in loudspeaker building, in loudspeaker construction, in our opinion, it's a very big thing that you can adjust the speaker to the listening room and not on the other way like all the others do.
Like vice versa, yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's also one feature I want to mention very intensively, because you always have big problems when you have a reverberant room with the bass and the booming, and we know these problems, and so we thought about having some features that can help you with adjusting all these problems and bringing the loudspeaker on a new sound level.
Well, that sounds very interesting. Well, Roland, I think it's better that we talk first, before we talk about these adjustments. What did you change? What did Gauder Acoustic change in general with the drivers and with the crossover?
Yeah, that's the big deal. You know, it's very important to have the right till small parameters for your drivers, for the woofers, for the mid-range, for the tweeter. It's depending on mass and the magnetic strength and magnetic fields inside. So if you have the right parameters on your drivers, then you have a much better performance than if you would just adjust them to the volume of the cabinet. And now we can say we really have the perfect drivers because we built them by ourselves. And that's a big progress for the drivers. And of course, we also changed some materials, some magnetic drive, some voice coils, and so on. But that's really the details. What I want to say is, it's not the material we should talk about. It's just the whole complex construction of the speaker, and actually much more important than the material discussion is just the way the crossover works. And so we come to the next point, the crossover.
You mean it's the crossover, stupid? Huh?
Yes, it's the crossover, stupid. It's not the material.
It's not the material.
No, absolutely not. You need the right small parameters, but actually, if you have a good material, and if you have a good concept around it, the voice coil and the suspension and all the details that just are not so important as the crossover is, because the crossover tells the music to go through the different drivers. And so the crossover is just the essential point of every Gauder acoustic speaker. And as I always mention, we have a very, very high slope filters with more than 60 dBs per octave. So as you know, many of speakers on the market have 6 dB or 12 dBs. Mm-hmm. And so we just cut off the edges of the transmission range of the drivers very, very steeply. And therefore, the drivers do what they can, not what they cannot do.
But we already had, in my opinion, we already had some good drivers. Why did we change?
Of course, the drivers we used from Accuton were really on the highest level of the market 15 years ago. But of course, now we have changed the volumes inside the cabinets and structure inside, so we needed some drivers which are different to the old ones. And I also wanted to have a better distribution of the resonances of the material, because the hard materials, they resonate very hard and very sharp, and this is just very unpleasant with a big distortion. And so we wanted to have a new kind of material for the drivers and a new magnetic strength, which is just responsible for the impulse response.
And you know, Dr. Roland always knows exactly what he wants. And if it's not 100% exactly, we need to change it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like this?
That's right. It's the biggest goal in life is always to have the perfect loudspeaker, to have the perfect music reproduction.
Yeah.
And that was what's driving us forward.
So Roland, from the scientific point of view, it is much more important to talk not about the material of the driver, but on what should we talk?
We should talk about the crossover, because the crossover is responsible for bringing the right frequencies to the right driver. And it's also very important for the impulse response. People always think in frequency response, but as you know, we have measured frequency responses now for 50, 60 years, and most of them were flat.
Always the same.
So a little bit ripple, but that's all.
And they do not sound the same,
no,
even if they look the same.
And so we thought about how could this be? And of course, there is two sides of the medal. One is the frequency response, and the other one is the impulse response. And you know, all the instruments, they just have impulses. They produce impulses. The drums, the guitar, the piano.
Even the voice.
Even the voice, yes. We speak in impulses.
Yeah.
Music consists of impulses. And so, as a loudspeaker manufacturer, we should think of impulse response and not only in frequency response. And that's what we do here with our crossover. And one point which is new, and I think for the first time in hi-fi history, we have implemented such a filter to eliminate the delay of the tweeter signals and to the mid-range signals.
Because the tweeter signal is too fast.
Yes,
huh?
I can show it here on
Please.
On the whiteboard. If you take a look at the group delay of a loudspeaker, that's a time, and this is the frequency. The group delay means there's a signal coming into an electrical network, and then you have an output. And there is a time delay between input and output. And for the bass, this delay is really big. Then the mid-range is coming, and then the tweeter is coming. And so the big problem is here, the time delay between mid-range and tweeter. Mm-hmm. They do not coincide. They do not come they not arrive at the ear at the same time. And therefore all the impulses get smeared. Mm-hmm. And we have always had this problem in hi-fi. And in the 50s and 60s, people also thought about eliminating this.
Yeah, you often see this on other products. If you take a close look on the front of the loudspeaker, sometimes they don't have it in 90 degrees. They have it like this.
Yeah, tilt.
They have
back.
tilted a little bit. So they make the
delay.
May I say it? They make the delay geometrical.
Geometrically, yes, absolutely. They do, and or they place the tweeter.
They place the tweeter somewhere on the bottom, a little bit.
Yeah, but then you have the bad reflections here from the cabinets, and so on. So actually, this doesn't work really good. Actually, it's pretty bad.
So it's better to do it on the electrical way?
Absolutely. And here in the Capello series now we have done this for the first time in hi-fi history.
Okay, Roland, so we changed the cabinet.
Yes.
We show afterwards from the backside so the audience will see it better.
Yeah.
We changed the cabinet. We changed the crossover with the time alignment.
Yes.
We changed the drivers.
Yes.
Because you say all the time we don't build instruments for playing music. We produce impulse machines.
Reproducing machines. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And let's take a closer look on this one. This is the binding post on the back of the loudspeakers and the adjustments. What can we do with these adjustments? Because we started to talk about this several minutes before, but I think we must talk a little bit more about
detail,
this.
Yes, Volker, you always know we are loudspeaker producers and we do not know how the room actually is built from the customer. How big is it? How high is the wall, the ceiling and the walls? And so we only have our listening room and we can adjust the speaker to our room, but we don't know anything about the room of the customer. And therefore we thought about having some tools to adjust the speaker to the room of the customer.
And not
vice
versa, huh?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so what can we do with this? Let's show to the people.
Yeah, first we just have this jumper here for adjusting the level.
You can put it like this.
Yes, this is.
You can put it like this or like this. Okay.
You have 3 positions and you can adjust the level of the bass to the room. So
can you show us, please?
Let me show it here in this diagram. Here we have again the frequency, and here we have the loudness or the amplitude. And normally you have such a bass response.
Yeah.
And now, if you have a big room, you need more. Then you take the plus 1.5 dB position.
Like this.
And then you get something like this. Or if you have a small room, or you place the speaker very close to the walls.
Yeah.
Then you can say, okay, it's close to the wall. The walls are amplifying the output, so I don't need that much bass.
Because
I
it
want
makes-
less bass because
it's a little bit boomy or something
then,
like this.
and so I say I want to have minus 1.5 dB, and then I put the jumper in the minus 1.5.
So that
positions.
means that this one you can adjust the whole level of the
Yes.
two bass drivers. When we
Yes.
talk about a Capello 100, we have two
Yes.
bass drivers. Okay, and the other one,
That's our bass extension system. So normally you have an output like the black one.
yeah,
And okay, you say, no, okay, there's just something missing in the low frequency range. And we would have to increase the volume by double size to have 1 octave more. But actually then it's such a big speaker who looks ugly and cannot be
and we
placed
want a
in-
good-looking speaker. Yeah.
So, and that's why we do it electrically.
Okay.
I lower the impedance to some normal value, and you need a good amplifier for that. But then you get a bass extension like this.
And this is why we call it extension, and because it's not doing more bass, it's an extension. So the loudspeaker goes lower than normal.
Yes, and we cut off, it's like a subsonic filter,
Yeah.
we cut off the killing or the woofer destroying frequencies just below 20 hertz.
So this means, excuse me, Roland, this means when you put in the jumper like this,
Yeah.
we have this red one.
Yes.
And if you put out the jumper, then we have the black one, isn't it?
Actually,
Like
it's-
this?
Yeah, it's a little bit lower even.
It's like this, huh?
It's like this.
Okay, so, but sometimes on personal thinking or sometimes
taste.
on matter of taste,
Taste.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
and sometimes matter of how, where you put the speaker,
Yeah,
where you put the
placement.
cabinet. This is maybe too much.
Yes.
And this is maybe
Too less.
not enough. It's too less.
Yeah, okay. So then we just take one of these modules here inside our bass extension box, and you see there are 4 different modules
Yeah.
in white, green, blue, and red.
So for the right loudspeaker and for the left, of course, 2
Yes.
times.
Here we have plus 3.5 dB, here plus 3, plus 2, and plus 1.
Yeah.
And this means just the blue module is 2 dBs. And so we extend the roll off to something like this. And then you have the blue extension.
So you put in this module here
Yes.
instead
yes.
of the jumper.
Yes, yes. You take the
Like me.
module and put it into these 2 sockets here on the back of the terminal. Put it in here, and then you have plus 2 dB, like the blue curve here.
Okay, so let me talk in clear words. This jumper is inside the box when you get your Capello
Yeah.
loudspeaker, in every model, of course.
In every model.
And this one the dealer has for you, and you
Yes.
can check which model you
Yes.
want or if you need one.
You normally need just one of
course.
these and then you always have to try it by yourself. Put it in the speaker, listen to some music, and then you see, the blue one fits me.
And if you don't have the same situation on the right speaker than on the left, you can also take 2
Yes, of
different
course.
ones, huh?
Of course, that's normal because normally the rooms are not symmetric.
Yeah.
And the woofers don't work the same left and right speakers, and so you can adjust the left and the right speaker in a different way.
Perfect tool.
Yes, so you see, we have a lot of tools for adjusting the speaker to your room. And what's also new in our Capello series is that we have a double vision version of each speaker in our line.
Yeah, we introduced the double vision also in the product line of Capello because it's a big success since 4 or 5 years in the Dark series. And we had the idea we don't want to increase the price of the series, and therefore we leave the standard inside of the Mundorf and Intertechnik and WBT binding posts from the normal series as we had in Cassiano and Vescova. And the double vision is an option. It's like a special edition. We put in some better binding posts from WBT. We put in some better. Please, can you show, Roland, to the audience the B-wiring connectors here, which you can place here, of course.
Yes, just for connecting the binding posts of WBT from the base and the mids and highs. And you see, you can get them in two different versions. The regular one is copper plated with gold, and the optional one from the double vision version is copper plated with rhodium. And you may say gold is just has a better conductivity.
Well, some people may.
Than rhodium, and that's true. But the problem is, gold is very soft, and if you use it different times and just open it and connect it, then you rub off
the gold,
and you get a bad connection there, because also gold plated on copper is just not perfect, because they have different crystal structures, crystal lattices, and the lattice of rhodium and copper are the same, and so rhodium has a much better in cohesion to the copper than the gold, and so this rhodium lasts forever, and that's why we use it in the double vision version.
So we have in the double vision another different binding posts. We have different B-wiring connectors. We have different capacitors from Mundorf.
Yes.
Better ones, the Supreme ones, I think. We have better wires inside. And well, all those things are not that big, but in combination, it sounds, well, much better. Even when you take a close look on what you must pay more for the double vision.
Yeah, the surcharge is actually,
that's it.
It's a good thing.
That's
it's not that much surcharge, but the sound effect is really big. And I would recommend to all of you to take the double vision version, because we cannot upgrade it later. You have to order it from the first date. But it's worth the money.
Yeah, it is.
Of course, but it's an option.
It is.
You don't need it.
I can tell you, I'm the sales. I can tell you, I'm the sales manager. 98 till 99% of the loudspeakers we sell in all the product lines are double vision.